Hi, and congratulations on completing week 3. I wanted to just take a quick minute to go over a couple of thoughts on your discussion question. So having completed the interpretation assignment for this week, think about how the narrative demonstrates an aspect of God's character. Essentially, after reading Genesis 22, I understand that God is a God who blank. Part of the exercise is to work with a passage of Scripture and draw out the part of what God is trying to teach the reader. There were several that you could pick for attributes of God. Some of the ones that I saw that I think are fully supported in the passage are obedience. Luke does a great job explaining this. What I'm saying is that, Luke came from a different class. What I'm saying is that we will see the fulfillment of God's promises in our lives when we fully trust, believe, and obey God. So one of the things we see about God is that God is obedient. Another one is faithfulness. God to mankind, mankind to God, and God to his promises. And then also God is a God who keeps his promises. So all of those I think we see in that passage. We also see that God is a God who provides. That the Lord will provide, it says at the end of the passage. The word provide is used 3 times in the text. In verse 8, Abraham tells Isaac that God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering. In verse 14, the word appears twice. So Abraham called that place, the Lord will provide. And to this day it is said, on the mountain, the Lord, it will be provided. And repetitive words are a great way to see what is the core of a passage. And so perhaps if I were to pick one, this is the one I'd pick, is that God is a God who provides. We also do see, and I think to a lesser extent, that God is someone who tests, and that testing is often for our own benefit, but that God, I think, does test mankind in different ways. So thanks for, here we go. For assignment 3.1, identify and discuss various aspects of plot, character, and time in dialogue. Some of the points that I was looking for were, what is the role of the narrator? The character discussion should focus on the characters as developed in the narrative. In other words, who is fully developed and who is merely an agent to move the plot forward. I wanted to hear pace. Pace would explore when is the plot moving quickly and when is the narrator slowing things down to give us more detail. So watch for how quickly the author is giving us verbs. Are we going from action to action to action? Or are we given an action and then we're slowing down to hear more about the color of the plot? For dialogue, I was wanting more discussion on why is Isaac almost silent, and what does how does the narrator use dialogue versus narration to tell us about the story. So good assignments this week. Always room to dive a little deeper, but I feel like folks talked about the use of plot and narration and pace and dialogue fairly well. I think we did a pretty good job, in fact, a very good job on the discussion post. Thanks for all the hard work, and I'll talk to you soon.